Surprise, surprise, the Mumbai Indians have made the final of another IPL edition. Consistency, something that has defined the Mumbai Indians. And although I said surprise, surprise, it's definitely no surprise that they've made the summit clash of IPL 2020 after a 57-run win against the Delhi Capitals in the first qualifier of IPL 2020. The Delhi Capitals looked absolutely all at sea against the Mumbai Indians. First, the Mumbai Indians put up 200 on the board, and from then on, it just seemed like the Delhi Capitals batting wouldn't be able to chase down such a mammoth target considering the inconsistency in the batting lineup, and that was exactly what is on display. The Delhi Capitals managing just 143 on the back of a fantastic show from Jasprit Bumrah, who picked up 4 wickets and was also ably assisted by Trent Bolt, and also 1 wicket each for Krunal Pandya and Kieron Pollard. Lot to talk about the first qualifier, and you're watching Sportskeera's IPL series Power Play. I'm your host Prasen Makal, and along with me is our cricket expert Indranil Basu. Indranil, yesterday we spoke about, in the previous show, you spoke about how the Mumbai Indians should target anything around 160, 170. They got a lot more than that, and when they got 200, were you of the opinion that Delhi Capitals could actually chase that down?
No, I never had great thought about Delhi Capitals because they have been inconsistent in the past. That's what we saw. But in flashes, they did well. We saw a little bit of good this thing coming from good batting display coming from Shikhar Dhawan when he got those 2 back-to-back centuries. First batsman to do so in IPL. We saw flashes of Prithvi Shaw doing little well, but he's not been confident. He's really struggling. I've always questioned his technique, his temperament, and I'm right in whatever I believe. Then you come to Rahane, who's been in and out of the side. Last game he did well. He scored some good runs against RCB, but again he was found wanting. Shreyas Iyer is again been patchy. So is our great talented wicketkeeper Rishabh Pant. So overall, the over dependence on the Indian batsmen, it was always on the cards. But nothing is lost. They had a bad game. They won the toss. They started off with a lot of advantage, but they were up against a side which is known to be there in that qualifying stages every year, every now and then. Mumbai Indians is dangerous. I mean, look what sort of approach they have. They prior to that qualifier match, they lost the game by 10 wickets against SRH, the last league game of the competition. And look at the way they came back. And good, they got exposed. They knew where they had gone wrong. And this is minus Rohit Sharma's knock. He was out on the first ball of the match, or first ball he faced, I guess. So that was what the Mumbai Indian is all about. I think out of 7 batsmen, five scored runs. Deacock scored 40. Rohit Sharma was out on a first ball duck. Surya Kumar Yadav against 51. Again, he scored runs. Ishan Kishan 55 or 30 balls. Pollard again a duck like Rohit. Hardik Pandya again not scoring too much. Again Kunal Pandya not scoring too much, 13, and Hardik Pandya getting 37 runs of 14. That was a game changer. I said 150, they went on to 200, and thanks to that beautiful knock, and he's been really, really powerful, Hardik, towards the fag end of 14th and 20th over. I think his strike rate is above 197. He hasn't scored that many runs, but his strike rate is phenomenal, which is what is expected. You have to go out there and hammer the ball out of the park. And Hardik is doing so consistently. 1 or 2 occasions where we saw him faltering, but he's been like Pollard did. But their strike rate, their success rate has been phenomenal throughout the tournament, and that's what is giving that punch. A lot of matches are being won and lost in the middle overs, and these 2 guys have been the real success pillar of Mumbai Indians as far as their batting goes. It was always on the cards. It's going to be really tough. It was always Delhi Capitals were under pressure because we saw they could also lose. There were little shortcomings they have within their team. Certain things like consistency with their batting bit, and the bowlers also couldn't live up to the expectation. They were not. They were bowling first. They won the toss, opted to field. they could have been a little better, but I think they strategy-wise it all went wrong because you remember, Prasen, we used to talk about how when you have the best bowler, you should attack first half. Okay, Ashwin is your best bowler. You should have tried at least with one of the better ones, Nokia and Rabada. Why you're keeping them for the first change option? And this is surprising. You have your best bowler, use them. Why were you not using them? You start with Sams, which is okay, he's a left arm seamer, but someone who has got you all the success throughout the tournament, which is Nokia and Rabada, you're keeping them for the first change option. I don't agree. And this is again, you have to be your own man, which I said, if you're the captain. Shreyas is most of the time dictated from outside. He's a powerful coach in Ricky Ponting, was won World Cups and all that. As a captain, as a player, he's a powerful man. He's a powerful brain. Let's not question that aspect of the game. But on the field, you have to be your own man, which is very important. You can't be maneuvered. You can't be manipulated. You can't be made to make those forced changes. You have to think like a captain, which Rohit Sharma was always in command of position. And you saw that this is called involvement. He got out for a dark. He came back. He didn't remove his pads. So, that's the involvement. He was in the game. That's the captain I'm talking about. And I've seen captains throwing their, putting their pads out, throwing them in disgust. Oh, I've got out. I could have gone for a review. I could have done this. A lot of questions keep coming and haunting your mind. But Rohit stood there. He was worried. He was putting his pads on as if he's going to get another chance to bat in the match. That was really good. This is involvement, nothing else. These are the little things which really shows what a team game is all about. And everyone knows their job. They lost those early wickets. Kunal Pandya came. He couldn't make anything out of it. Ishan Kishan was opening the innings in absence of Rohit Sharma. He went out there. Whenever he got that opportunity, they know this is a big occasion. He had to grab it. And all of them scored. And if I'm not mistaken, there were 7 batsmen. Out of 7 batsmen, 4 of them scored. Decock scored 40, Yadav 51, Ishan 55, and Hardik Pandya 37 of 14 balls. So this shows the power of Mumbai Indians. So what? We've lost the toss. And if you remember, this is a first. They just want to go out there and show their supremacy, which they showed against Delhi Capitals.
Yeah, and Delhi also, in a way, they obviously had the batsmen, they had the big names. And Balashankar is also asking the same question, that against RCB, they were really chasing a slightly below par total that they probably would have liked to chase. But against Mumbai, they were chasing 201, which was a pretty big target. So is the key for the Delhi Capitals their bowling, even when they either face the Sunrisers or RCB, depending on today's match result? Will it be completely down to their bowling, which they will need to bank on for that match's win?
Absolutely. You have to, and you got a good option. You won the toss, restrict them below 150 or around 155. That's the best chance you have because you don't have those kind of wickets which will support your stroke makers. Shikhar Dhawan is a stroke maker. Prithvi Shaw is a stroke maker. Only grafter, only person who can really go out there and take his time and settle down and play his shots is Ajinkya Rahane. All of them. Shreyas Iyer loves the ball when it comes to the bat. Similarly with Rishabh Pant, all of them are stroke maker. Stoinis, for instance, he loves the ball coming up to the bat. He played a good knock yesterday, but those knocks are useless as far as the team is concerned. They couldn't go anywhere. They lost the game. So it's important that you stick to your balance, you stick to your strength, and your strength is your bowling. And if you have your best bowler, why are you waiting for them? You have to give them the new ball, no matter what. And due credit should be given to Ashwin the way he's bowled. He's been brilliant throughout the tournament. And we have overlooked his performance because we just talk about the fast bowlers, the bowlers, the fast bowlers, the leg spinners. But Ashwin is the only off spinner who's got so much success. And look at the way he's bowling. He's bringing in so much. And he's sticking to his basic thing, which is the off spin, which he wasn't doing before. He was trying out because he knows so many kinds of deliveries. He can bowl so many kinds of deliveries. He was experimenting a lot. And this is what the Indian team management had a problem. And that's why probably he was not part of the white ball cricket for a long time. He's still not there. But in IPL, he has been brilliant. And now I know why the Kings 11 Punjab, they missed a spinner, right? They missed a spinner. They needed an off spinner. And that's why one of their promoters, one of their owners, he was not willing to let go Ashwin to Delhi Capitals. I was talking to one of my friends, and he said that Delhi Capitals also asked for Murugan Ashwin, that leg spinner. And till that time, Kings were not making him play regularly. Moment Delhi asked for, they basically was trying to loan him for get a loan out of the entire system, but he was not allowed. And that's the time Kings realized that Murugan is an important. It could be an important partner in the team, and that's how he was made to play the later matches, and he did well. So, "Ghar ki murgi dal barabar." That's the saying in Hindi. Ghar mein hai, so things are not happening the way you're not giving due diligence, due importance. But Ashwin has been brilliant, really. I mean, the way he's bowled. Yesterday's game, for instance, if you see his bowling figures, it's the best in the game, and 4 overs, 29 runs, 3 wickets, and he's been very consistent with this bowling. That's what really stands out. Rabada and Nokia could have been equally fearsome, deadly, but had they been given the new ball. Fast bowler, you're supposed to get the new ball. I don't know. You get those initial movement, and you have Rabada who is there, who's done well. He's got you for last 2 years. He's been the most consistent bowler in the entire competition. And you know,
was it a case of them keeping Rabada and Nokia for Pollard and Hardik Pandya, because Pollard and Pandya did take down the spinners in the previous matches of IPL? So was it a case of just defending early on with the spinners, which really did well for them, and then attack with the seamers towards the end?
Towards the end, you always have 2 to 3 overs of all the bowlers. Okay, I'm talking about they lost the momentum between 16th and 20th over. And who was batting? Hardik Pandya. How much did he score? He scored 37 of 13 balls, right? So that's the time you need solid. They have to be there. You have to use them 2 overs up front, new ball, and then keep 2 overs for the slog overs. In middle over, you can try out your spinners and other medium paces, the first change bowlers, like Sam's could have been used at that time. So this is a real problem. We saw what KKR did in the first game they played. Pat Cummins was hammered all over the park. He's one of the highest purchases at the auction for KKR and in the entire auction. And what happened? I mean, next game he came back, he took those wickets. He was so effective. You have to give the new ball to a medium pacer. And if the medium pacer is the best bowler you have in the team, there's no second thought to it. You can't keep all the 4 overs for fag end of the innings, right? Can you do that?
Yeah.
It won't sound nice. So you will use Nokia and Rabada from 12th over onwards. And by that time, they would have scored 140, 120 runs. You've lost all the momentum. You think Rabada is some god. You think Nokia is some god. They will just apply brakes on the scoring, on the opposition scoring. It's not possible. You have to keep that momentum, to keep that pressure, which is very important. And when Rabada runs into that new ball, that feel is different. It's all about being in that good space. And Rabada has given you that good space. So how can you keep him from the end? Use him up front. When you're fighting a war, will you keep your best soldiers for the later stages of the war, or will you just send them ahead so that they can just destroy the enemy camp completely and then you can run them over? You have to finish the game as early as possible. It's a 20-over match. You have to use your best resources. That's the logic. I believe in that logic.
Yeah, absolutely. And at this stage, it just looks like the Mumbai Indians, are unstoppable. They are going to be playing in the final, and they will, either face Delhi Capitals or one of RCB and SRH. But considering the way, that they've won this match against the Delhi Capitals, the batting clicked, they made 200 despite Pollard and Rohit not even scoring a run. The bowlers came to the party despite Rahul Chahar being taken in the cleaners. Do you feel the Mumbai Indians are really unstoppable, or is there something that is missing in their lineup that the other teams can possibly target?
That is, they're not dependent on one individual. There's no paranoid dependence on Rohit Sharma or a Pollard or a Hardik Pandya. It's an overall team. Everyone knows their job. If Rohit doesn't do it, someone else will come and do it. If Surya Kumar doesn't do it, Kunal will do it. Kunal doesn't do it, Hardik will do it. So they have their so they know their jobs very well, which is so important at this level, and that makes it a very strong team. Why Australia ruled world cricket across 3 World Cups? Because if the top four couldn't do it, Andrew Simons, lower middle order batsman, will come and do the job for you. And he did it also. 2003, one of the best ODI innings I have seen personally in my life against Pakistan. They were down. The four batsmen were back in the pavilion. Simons came and scored a blinder. What a knock it was against a top quality Pakistani attack. And this is what cricket is all about. It's not about, if you don't do it, I'll put my hand up, do it for you. It's not that I'm doing your job. You created a sort of mess right at top of the order. You got out, 3 wickets down. Someone has to put their hand up. If they lost 3 wickets without scoring, Delhi Capitals, someone should have just gone there, taken their time, show some positivity. All is not lost. But, once you lose 3 wickets, they just panic. The panic-stricken thing, really, you're being judged. What will the camp say? What will the promoter say? Don't get judged. Just go and play your natural game. The best style to do anything in life, just stick to your natural bit. Be your own self. Be your own person. That really counts. There'll be days you'll really struggle, but most of the days you'll be acknowledged. I'm telling you, this is how it works everywhere. It works everywhere, Prasid.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you rightly mentioned how the Mumbai Indians have a group of match winners, and it's not just dependence on one person. The Delhi Capitals also, they have the names to do the job, and luckily they have a second chance of making the final. But in your assessment of what happened in yesterday's game against Mumbai, is there anything that they have to do right? Because at this stage, it just seems like their batting is all over the place. Their bowling is the only thing that's been spoken about. Obviously, Prithvi Shaw is pretty much, if you can put it bluntly, he's completely out of form and he's not looking good at all. So, what do the Delhi Capitals need to do different to combat that batting problem that they have and push for a spot in the final?
Well, whatever position they are in is because of the initial games they won. Because if you ask me, they don't deserve to be in top four. They are not able to create, and that's why I said it's important that you get the best team. Kings 11 would have created a lot more, made it a lot more a magical night yesterday. Because you remember Kings and Mumbai, they played the best IPL game, 2 super overs. Yeah. So it's excitement, which is important. It's not about who is winning, who is losing. You have to be a deserving candidate. They don't deserve to be in top four. I'm sorry, I'm sitting in Delhi and talking things like this about Delhi Capitals, but they don't have that. They don't have that. Only person who made it possible last year and this year is of course Rabada. Rabada was a revelation. The way he's bowled in last 2 years in IPL has been phenomenal, really. And Nokia also joined the bandwagon, and it's looking so nice, so potent. And you're using them in first stage. They don't know. And this captain, Shreya Shah, is a young man. He's learning the tricks of the trade. He's a chip on his shoulder that he's done something already. He's leading an IPL side. He's sealed that number 4 position. There's a chip on his shoulder, which is not nice. You have to be grounded. Learn from something from Sachin Tendulkar. What a grounded cricketer. God has given him so much. The reason being that he was always staying low. You have to stay low. You have to stay stable. That's give you the stability. When you put a glass at home, after washing, you turn it upside down. Why? So the center of gravity comes down, right? It doesn't fall. Yep. So you have to be grounded. It's very important. It's very important in cricket. You have to be grounded no matter what, whether you win or lose. You have to have that phase. Look at Dhoni. Biggest example. Look at Kapil Dev, the greatest. All these great captains we had. Sachin, of course, is not a great captain, but he was a great player. So you have to be grounded. These guys, they've just got into the scheme of things. They have taken sort of this T20 route to get into, but they don't understand the value system, the value which is there, which these games carry. You should be really thankful you're in top 4. Play like a champion team. That's the least you can do.
Yeah, and the champion team that we're talking about, the Mumbai Indians, obviously there's been a lot of chat around the batting order and how players have stepped up to the fore. But yesterday, Jasprit Bumrah, 4 for 14. What a magical spell of bowling. He that Yorker to Shikhar Dhawan, probably the best ball of the tournament so far, at least for me personally. But how important is it for the Mumbai Indians? They're just playing the final again, but In terms of Indian cricket as a whole, India will be traveling to Australia. So, how important is Bumrah's form overall in terms of Mumbai Indians eyeing their fifth title and for the Indian team as well?
What I really like till last year, it was all Lasith Malinga putting his hand up on big games, but Bumrah, and I said also on our shows, if Prasan, if you remember, Bumrah is the new Malinga of world cricket. The way he's bowling, those Yorkers, the change of pace, those knuckle balls, slower balls, all those balls which is delivering, he's been superb. And remember when he played the initial few games, he was hammered all over the park. We had a discussion. I said Bumrah is a different kettle of fish, and no one knows about fish better than me because I'm Bengali. Okay. So yeah, I can tell you, Bumrah is a different kettle of. The way he's improved over the years, he's been phenomenal. He's easily the top three fast bowlers in the world. I'll keep Bumrah right up there. The way he's bowling, he's been so consistent. That's so important. He's got hammered. He's given runs also. People have hit him for sixes, fours, and everything. But the consistency at which he bowls those Yorkers and the back of length deliveries, and he jags back, moves away from the right hander. He's been phenomenal, really. I'm really looking forward to see a good battle, which is on the cards between in the Test series, of course. That's where the real test comes out of a cricketer. Between the Australian batsman and Jasprit Bumrah charging in, and he's got a nice little run up, very nippy, quick arm action. He knows how to use the depth of the crease. He comes close to the stump. He's got that variety. He can change the length of his delivery. He can change the line. He comes around the wicket also. Very convincing and good steady position. The head is straight when he's delivering. Everything is right about Bumrah. Really little unconventional his action, but the fact that 4 overs, 1 maiden, 14 runs, 4 wickets. What do you want? What else do you want? When you have a bowler like that, a captain doesn't need to worry.
Yeah,
and would have, if he would have just said, my hamstring is again troubling me, I'm not going to the field. Pollard, you go ahead. They don't need Rohit Sharma. They've created such a strong system. Which is that is what a franchisee cricket means. You have to build a system. You have to build a system that it's not depending on. It doesn't depend on individual. It's a team. It's a core team, which is what matters. Between 5th and 10th over, they lose 2 wickets. Kunal Pandya knows he has to go up there and bat for 4-5 overs and get the score card ticking till Pollard and Hardik would come and take over the center stage. So they have complete planning. They have a definition, they have a narrative when they're playing these matches. And they've played so often these playoff matches. And it's Delhi even can't touch their skin. And as I said, Delhi had to play out of their skin to win this game. So they got thoroughly exposed. And I see which team would be so strong enough to stop Mumbai Indians from winning the trophy. I want to see that team. And we'll get to know in next a couple of days who is actually the team who can counter Mumbai Indians in the final.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely the Mumbai Indians look completely unstoppable. 57-run win to really storm into the final of IPL 2020. Complete performance from the Mumbai Indians with the bat and with the ball. The Delhi Capitals, on the other hand, again, the same old issues. The batting has been a problem, and it was, as our experts said, exposed yesterday by the Mumbai Indians bowlers. But today is a very important match, SRH versus RCB, the eliminator clash. And to answer all of your questions and to answer all of your doubts, we'll have our expert with us in our preview show, which we will have at 7 p.m. today. And he'll also run us through the fantasy side, which we've been bringing to you in all of our shows so far as part of Sportskeera's IPL series Power Play. But do join us at 7 p.m. We'll have all of your questions answered, and we'll also speak about the SRH and RCB playing 11s and bring you the fantasy tips. But until then, that's it from us, our cricket expert Indranil Basu and myself, Prasen Mautal. Mumbai Indians have made the final of IPL 2020. 2 teams playing the eliminator. The winner plays the Delhi Capitals in the second qualifier, and the winner of that plays the Mumbai Indians in the final. So we'll see you today at 7 p.m. Do join us for the preview show. Until then, it's goodbye.
I hope there is no meek surrender happening tonight, like it happened with the Delhi Capitals in the top order, just collapsing like pack of cards. I hope it doesn't happen tonight. I hope there's a even contest between bat and ball. That's what we are looking forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. Toss will definitely be a big point in this whole game that will happen today. But we will have discussions on that as well because obviously you have been a huge advocate of teams needing to depend on that toss. Although the Mumbai Indians haven't really needed that completely, but today I think it's a very important.
Toss out of the equation.
Yeah,
That's what Rohit Sharma says. Keep toss out of the contention. You have to be prepared to bat and bowl well to win a game. That's important. Toss is
yeah,
not going to make you win games. It's going to give you a
absolutely.
physical advantage, but you have to still go out there and play your cricket and good
Yeah,
cricket.
yeah, absolutely. So, well, there you have it. Join us at 7 p.m. We'll bring you all the playing 11s and fantasy updates for RCB versus SRH. Until then, thanks. That's it from the both of us.
See you.